What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing part 3 on the Mototec to Crf110 conversion. Hopefully the last part. Got a few more things I want to do, a few things that I want to change up, and then afterwards we can start getting into all the wiring and stuff. But yeah, so if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've been watching since the beginning of this conversion, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, so she is looking pretty good. There's a few things I do want to change up. Primarily back here, these weren't lining up very well. I got it unbolted right now, but bolted up, it left a line kind of like that. So what I think I need to do is I basically just cut off that nut that I welded there, and then I'm going to weld it down, kind of clean up that look right there, kind of squish all this down right here, make it look a little bit better. Of course, we got to do our little arms to kind of stiffen up these side panels right here. We'll probably just do something right off this lower bar and kind of have it swoop around and down into there, and that side as well. From there, that should be pretty solid. Otherwise, the little thing I did on the controller, this is nice and stiff, but when you go to the gas tank, you can see it's really flimsy right there. So I think what I'm going to do is, off that little bracket I made, is just kind of come up with a piece of tubing and then put a flat plate that'll kind of sit underneath this and stiffen it up. That way, keep it nice and tight. I don't know. Keep it nice and stiff so when I sit on it, it don't do that. Kind of looks like poopy. But yeah, so one thing I did notice, I tried to make the seat flat. It's hard to tell right now because the front end's sitting a little high. But I noticed that on Crf110s, it actually does kind of banana up a little bit. But that's not a big deal. I mean, I was thinking maybe I'll get a longer travel shock. I don't really like bringing this down more, but if I can bring this down like a ½ inch, get a little bit longer shock, something stiffer, maybe I can raise the back end a little bit more to kind of, I don't know, make it look right. Either way, you know, this is just going to be a street queen most likely, and going to be my wheelie machine. And I'm not a big fan of bikes stink bugging, I guess the best way I can put it. And I wanted the seat nice and flat. It just makes pulling the wheelie up a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm super stoked how this thing's coming out. And honestly, it's been a lot of fun. I'm ready to get this fabrication over with. I mean, we still got a lot more. We'll probably take a pause on the fabrication and, you know, wire everything up, get the QS165 cleaned up and put back in there. You know, I still need new forks, and then I got to make, basically I think I'm just gonna drill and tap some holes right here and right here, put a little bolt on, that way the stopper catches it, because as it is right now, we hit the little tank cover, which is a no-go. If I crash, it's going to completely shatter this. So I definitely need to make some little bump stops, which should be pretty easy. And yeah, that's basically it. I do got to figure out a gas cap solution, because on the 19 and up Crf110s, they have a metal tank, and then this is just a cover that goes over it. So I'm kind of going off my buddy Michael. He has a MX650, I believe, where he did the 19 and up Crf110 plastics, and it looks super sick. And he gave me some ideas of how I can kind of fill this in and put a little gas cap on it. These gas caps are expensive, man. They're like $60. But you know, I kind of want to do it like I did on the old version of the Mototec, where you take the gas cap off and you got your charge port right there. That was super cool and convenient. And then it also kind of watertight seals the charge port as well. So I definitely want to do something like that. But yeah, so I think first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I'm going to cut those nuts off and, you know, stick this to where I want it, weld the new nuts back on, and just kind of get this tighter, make it look pretty. Otherwise, everything seems to be lining up pretty good. I mean, I was super worried about all these lines, but, you know, I go on online and look up pictures of a Crf110, and a lot of this sticks out. There's gaps everywhere. So it's not going to be, in my mind, perfect. You know, they're all kind of, you know, they got little gaps here and there, and that's just how they're built. So, yeah, so let's go ahead, get right into it. I'm gonna cut these nuts off, pull the plastics off, get everything kind of torn down real quick, and then get it all back together. Hopefully finish this today. Alright guys, I think that is going to be a good enough for me. Looks pretty good. Pretty tied up in there. Check out this side. Yeah, it looks much better. Yeah, there ain't much I can do about this gap right here. I mean, I could try to pull the seat down more, but then I'd have a big gap up here. Just weird how these plastics kind of fit together. But yeah, I'd say that is good. That is pretty good. So I think next I'll go ahead and make some sort of, I don't know, probably do like a bar coming up with a flat plate coming across. That way the flat plate kind of sits on this and that'll keep it from squishing down. But yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out. So something pretty simple, like I was saying. So it's basically we're gonna weld it to the little bracket I made. Sit right there. And then all it's going to do is that little flat plate's going to sit across this, so that way you can't really push down on it. So simple solution like that. And then I'll probably add some thickness when the seat hooks into it. It kind of still does this a little bit, so I might put a little flat plate here, just kind of thicken it up, give the seat something a little bit more solid to sit on as well. Otherwise, I think we will be done with the front. Then I do need to weld my nuts on there solid. Then we'll run a brace across here. And then I think from there, we'll get our little arms on. And shoot, I mean, I'm sure I'll find something else to mess with, but I think that's about it. Cool, so let me go ahead, tack this on, get my nut welded on, make myself like a little brace. Basically, I'm just gonna take some of this square tubing and then, you know, cut a piece across, just weld it to it, and that's done and done. Easy stuff. But yeah, it's coming together. And just like that, we got our brace in there. Nuts are tacked down and welded fully. We got a little plate right here to thicken this up, that way the seat can't come down. And if you look down in there, past my fingernail, you can see we got our little post right there. So this thing is solid. So I'll go ahead and I'll put the seat on real quick and then put all my body weight down on it, and this thing should be absolutely solid. And now that we got our brace done, our nuts welded on there, we can go ahead and make our little arms come down and hold our side plastics. And then I think that's it. I think the plastics are absolutely solid. The only thing I'll have to do later on, and I'll show you guys that, I'll probably do a separate video for that. I'm gonna like 3D print a adapter, because the holes are actually reverse on the Crf110 fenders, so it's 2 up front, 1 in the back, and these are 2 in the back, 1 in the front. And then it's got like a deep dish into it. Like I said, I'll show you guys later on. So I'm gonna have to make like a little adapter block, design one in 3D print it. That way I can mount this thing up here. The fender's gonna look sweet. But yeah guys, let me go ahead and throw the seat on. Pretty much gonna throw all the plastics back on, and I'll show you how stiff the front is. Excited about that. And then we'll get those arms done. Plastics are back on. I mean, literally I could pick this thing up by any part of the plastic. So this is nice and solid now. This isn't flapping anymore. It's nice and tight down there. We got our lines matching up pretty good back here. And we got our lines matching up pretty good back here. Hell yeah. Looking good. Now, I need to figure out, I need to push these out just a tad bit. And then kind of make like a little arm to go from here to there with a little bracket to attach there. And then this one will have a nut and a bolt. But yeah, we're coming together. So close to being finished with these dang plastics. Alright, so after some internal debate, I decided this is going to be my little arm that's going to keep these plastics out. So basically I got some like 3/8 steel plate, I guess steel strap right here. And basically all I did was cut out or drill out a hole, and then I tapped this M8 Allen bolt through here. So it should sit, obviously the Allen bolt's in there right now. It's going to sit up there, got it all beveled out, and then this will sit flush against that. Something a little bit like that. Of course I got to take this out. Let me do that for you guys real quick so you get a better visual. So just like that. And then, come on. So it'll be just like that. And that should kick the side panel out just enough. That way the swing arm should clear. So I'm going to go ahead, bolt this on real quick, and then give it a tack. And then I'll bring you guys back and show you the full travel. Alright, that don't look too bad. This one's cooling off right now. I just welded the one side. Still got to weld the top side. But if you look over here, you can see we got my little bolt through. And it's nice and flush. And this thing is absolutely solid right now. And then, you know, if I crash and this does happen to bend, I mean, this stuff's pretty thick. Just take a hammer, whack it back out. As for this one, I kind of just put a big hole through it. That way, come on, get some light in here. You can see it's got like a little flared out head. That way it'll kind of just pop into place and it'll hold itself nice and solid. But yeah, guys, I think that's really it. Let's see, we got the tail put in a little bit better. We got this stiffened up. This isn't flopping anywhere. I mean, all this is pretty solid. I think we're pretty much done with the plastics. Of course, other than the fender, we'll get that figured out when I have time to sit on the computer and kind of design something. Excuse me. But yeah, dang, this thing has been a pain in the ass, but really fun. So cool deal. I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing cool off, and then I'll bring you back, show you everything, try to pull it out in the light before it gets dark out, and then we'll end this video off. While everything's cooling off, kind of took all the plastics off so I can kind of admire the whole subframe deal. So as you can see here, it goes in perfectly. And like I said in the previous videos, I max out about right here. So we still have a good like 1.5 inches of travel that I can make up with possibly a longer travel shock, something like that. But we got our bracing done. We got our nuts on the side for the seat, on the back for the fender. We got our sides for our side covers. This for our little seat slidey slot thingies. And of course the seat sits on the bars, 4 points right here. Slides in up here with our little controller bracket. Controller's acting kind of like a little base for the top of our seat, and our front cover, our gas tank cover, bolts in right here. And then the fender flares, whatever you want to call them, are held on by these guys right here. Hell yeah, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. Of course, we got our little box sides right here where our things go in to our little grommets. This thing came out freaking solid. Stoked with this, guys. All right, cool. Let me go ahead, throw it all back together, get some shots out in the light, and then we'll end this video off here. All right, here it is. We got a little bit of light. I'm absolutely stoked on this. It's definitely, it could come up a little bit to match the stock Honda, but I'll probably just drop the forks down just a touch, or you know, drop the clamps down and the forks up a little bit just to kind of level it out. Holy cow, this thing looks sick. Now imagine we got some nice side covers, big old 72 volt 36 amp hour. We got the QS165 in there. Of course, we got the EMX Brandon sprocket. Throw some nice street tires on this thing. You know, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll get another 12 for this. That'll help drop the front down a little bit, and I can keep the forks where they are. Man, I'm freaking pumped on this thing. What do you guys think? Let me know. Was this worth all the work? I'm pretty stoked on it. All the lines look super clean. Yeah, hell yeah. Cool deal. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the subframe and the plastic series. Of course, we got so much more left to do on this bike, but I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a like for me. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.